Well, good evening, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. So, welcome to our first meeting for 2022. Wow. Hope everyone had a great Christmas, and for those of you who came along to our rather damp Australia Day, hope you enjoyed the day. It was a great day, so thank you very much, Russell, for that. It was great, and our first run also was great up to the Beachmere Hotel. Yep. So February kicked off for a great start. So apologies. Firstly, Treasurer John Tate, Merchandising Alex Irvine, Membership Officer John Payne, Secretary Kerry Thomas, Vice President Editor Leanne Timms. Yep. Committee didn't like to come tonight. Had too much of a relaxing time over Christmas and getting back into it. Also Russell Dean, our webmaster, administrator, marketing person, rang me about 15 minutes ago with an update and apologies.
Apologies. Down the road, Holly, I don't know the last name.
Oh yes, yep. New member came along to our Australia Day barbecue. Holly Worthington, possibly, yes. Great young lady, bought a Z4 learner. Parents are encouraging her. Yes, very excited. Sorry, any other apologies? No, it's all good. Thank you. So the minutes for the last meeting, which were the minutes from December last year, were circulated on 8th of February. And I put a motion that those minutes are a true and fair reflection of that meeting. Hopefully, can I have someone? Donald, thank you, and Dean, thanks. New members. Do we have any new members here this evening? Yes.
I joined and went to the Australia Day from Andrew Swan.
Right, Andrew. Yes. Just hop up for a sec and tell us about yourself.
Andrew Cutler, we're more worried about that.
Thanks, Scotty. Recently retired. I spent the last 8 years running Bridgestone tyres in Queensland for their mining division. So I did say to Greg, I have the ability to buy discounted Bridgestone tyres. So if people are interested, what I'll do, I actually have some codes which will give you 20 to 30% off the internet price. Anyway, I'll send them I had two BMWs until today. I just sold my X5, which was a sad thing to do, but anyway. And I have an X5 M Sport, the current model, which is a G something, I don't know what they're called. And I have a 330i as well, which is the current. I don't know that, is that a G? And I have another German mark, which is an old 911 that I restored about 5 years ago. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, welcome along. Just for those people in Facebook land who probably didn't hear that or see that, Andrew Swan, yes, ex-Bridgestone, discount tyres, let us know. I think he's a very, very, very nice man.
Your email address?
Yes. Okay. There's a gentleman up the front, Warren, who has come along this evening just to see what the club's about and is interested in joining the club. I already had Andrew Moller ankles at Warren because Warren's got a beautiful E36 outside, and of course, yes, it doesn't take long for Andrew to find E36s in the place. So Warren.
So there's a new member on the Facebook.
Yes, one sec. So Warren, tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in BMWs.
I've loved BMWs ever since I got first involved with them.
I used to actually work here at Brisbane BMW many years ago,
Oh, really? Wow.
selling originally the E46s, and ever since then I've owned 5. I worked here for about 5 years under Martin Roller, Martin Berg era. Always wanted to join the club. I was here a couple of times when you had meetings years and years ago, back in 2005. But never got around to it. Life got busy. I don't have anything to do with tyres, sorry guys.
Good, staying, mate.
I a bit like everyone else, I go through them pretty quickly, especially I've got 3 trucks. Do you sell Brisbane truck tyres too? Help me out with that. But I can help you with your lawn. I run a business, my lawn doctor, so if that helps you, I don't know.
Oh. Warren, excuse me, my wife Sue. You need to talk.
I don't mow lawns.
No.
No, it's not that.
No.
Lawn care.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's exactly what we need. Sorry. I think
You're
it's-
right.
Yeah.
So I've had 5 BMWs, starting off with a 94 E36 M3. Very sorry the day I sold it. Always wanted to get back into one. I'm finally back into an E36 sedan M3. Very nice car, as Andrew will vouch for, considering the age. I've also got an X5 2008. What's that? E90? I don't know.
No.
Something like that.
E53. Yeah.
70 maybe.
Yeah, it's got a sport pack. It's the twin turbo,
Yep.
top of the range diesel back then. So I've got 2 BMWs, and I've had many cars over the years. So yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, hopefully you'll go away tonight and think that we're good guys, and you'll join us. If you can't sell us tyres, at least you'll be able to give us some insider trading on how to talk to BMW salesmen. Because we're just BMW groupies. We hang around showrooms far too much.
Isn't that what the letters of BMW stand for? Is bring my wallet?
Yeah, of course. We've been doing it for years. Sue, did you say there's a new member on?
Yeah, there was, but he's scrolled up. Andrew Stevens, I think.
Andrew Stevens. Okay, Andrew. Well, thank you very much for joining, and thank you for watching. So it's great to see that people are joining us on Facebook, because as I was explaining to our guest speaker earlier this evening, we've got members that spread from Cairns down to Port Macquarie, out to Inverell, out west to Toowoomba, that area. So we've got a wide spread of people. I was just telling Rafael that we're running a country Zoom meeting, and there was a gentleman in Cairns who wanted to know about if there are any other members in Cairns. And I looked up our database, and this gentleman lived on one side of a golf course at Paradise Palms, and one of our other members lived on the other side of the golf course at Paradise Palms, and they didn't know each other. Now they do. But yes, it's really lovely. Well, thank you very much for all the new members. President's report. Great start of the year with, as I said, the run to Beachmere Hotel and the VMR barbecue, Australia Day barbecue, and very proud that we're able to donate $1,000 to the Volunteer Marine Rescue to help them with their run their operation. They were telling us about they're going through a major expenditure at the moment, buying a new boat, which is costing them upwards of $400,000, and they get very, very little support from the authorities. So a lot of that is charity dollars. So our little bit helps. But I wanted to thank specifically Russell Thomas and the rest of the team: Vic, Ingrid, Kerry Thomas, Greg Timms, Leanne Timms, John Tate, Marion Tate, Peter Solomon, and Dennis, of course, and Sue. Sue was a dab hand at the Pavlovas, so great. Okay. Yes, we almost had a call on the Voluntary and Marine Rescue to save our sausages when the rain started to pelt down. There was great planning. There's great planning for the upcoming year with Russell Thomas, Greg Timms, Dennis Weiss and Christine Murphy. Events coming up which we'll speak about. Also, Dennis Weiss, thank you very much for doing the mounting brackets for the new club grill badges. So the new club grill badges with the mounting kits are available. We have a web store, for those who don't know, where we can go on and buy shirts and lanyards and all that sort of thing. But we've got this fantastic new grill badges with the Club Queensland new logo. So jump on there and have a look. Treasurer's report. John Tate in absentia apologises for not being here to deliver the riveting details of his treasurer's reports, he says. John, don't worry. It is riveting. Thank you very much. The club finances are in great shape and we can comfortably meet all of our expected expenses. Current cash balance exceeds $56,000. The audit for our 2021 financial year has commenced and should be completed by the end of February. So each year we have to comply. We have an auditor, goes through and does everything, so that's fantastic. Thank you very much, John. Great work. Kerry Thomas, Secretary, there's nothing there, although I will add to the correspondence, which I will send home to Kerry, received in the mail today, the annual return form for the association documentation for Club Queensland Incorporation, which will need to be completed. So if you could pass that on to Kerry for me, please. Thank you. Membership report. I'll put on my John Payne hat now. John, thank you very much. Since our last club meeting in December, we've had 30 new members join the club, which is a great, healthy number. Overall membership now stands currently at 403. There's been a steady stream of members asking for club support letters for the SIV registrations, so it appears that very active to members who own older vehicles, especially now the impromptu events for the SIV registration vehicles can be done via the club website. So that system of registering your vehicle for special vehicle registration, which entitles you to very, very cheap registration fees. Your vehicle needs to be 30 years old and you have to be a member of affiliated with a registered car club to do that. So what happens is that if you've got a vehicle, approach the club. We issue a letter that you take to motor registry. You can then register your vehicle as a special interest vehicle. The rules are very strict with the use of that vehicle though. So you're only allowed to use your vehicle on registered club events and for certain transport to and from mechanics and things like that. But there is another category and it's called impromptu events. And that's what we're building our current website to be able to do. You can go onto our website and say, you just get up in the morning, you want to go for a drive. You just go onto our website and you log your own event. And that entitles you to use your vehicle on that day to drive wherever you want to, as long as you just register that you're leaving from here, going to there, and you're going to be back at such and such a time. It's that simple. But also it means that if you get pulled up by the police, because they do monitor it, because of the vehicle registration identification, they'll spot a car, see that it's on special vehicle registration, and they will pull you up and they will ask for proof that you're on a special event. And that's where the whole thing with our app comes on. Our club website has a partnering app on your iPhone. You can call up that event on your iPhone, show the police, you're on a registered event, all hunky-dory, get in your car, keep going. Perfect. So that system is very, 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 very close to actually...
That, Gary, too, is your third party and your insurance. Because if you're driving, technically if you're driving a vehicle without that situation, you're not using it in restrictions of SIV, you don't have any insurance and you don't have any third party.
Right.
So
right.
that's the big difference.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So that's that. At last I can stop talking. Greg Timms, come and talk to us, please.
Righto. Good to see you all here tonight. I'm glad to see you all survived Christmas. Hasn't the price of fuel suddenly gone up a bit, eh? Just as we want to go out driving, we have to pay a lot more for it. But anyhow, so be it. There you go, that's right. I do that, but they're only at North Lakes or Bundamba, aren't they? Yeah, is it only 30 at the moment? When I was just there about 3 days ago, it was $1.73 for 98. Is it still that? Do you know? Well, that's almost nearly 50 cents a litre cheaper. 50! You know, 50 times 60 litres, that's $30. That's more than one coffee, isn't it?
We got 2 cars, so we don't fill up anywhere else.
Righto.
I should have drive there and fill up. It's still cheap.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? They should build Costco's all over this country. It's worth the $65. I bet you that goes up too, surely. Anyhow, righto. So from John Tate, he's mentioned here that the Queen Mary Falls driver's been checked, because we're doing that on February 27. So what are we here? 11. So Sunday fortnight, we're going out to Queen Mary Falls. And John's done a bit of a check and found there are some roadworks happening. There's potholes out there, which is normal. So he'll do another recheck of the event prior to the 27th and see how it's looking. Whether we might damage our run flat tyres or our soft alloy rims, who knows. So it's obviously worth paying attention when you're driving. Okay, so the February 27 is the next run, Queen Mary Falls. So we're going to start at the Puma Bundamba. We're going to meet at 8:30. We're going to depart by 9 and go 2 legs. First leg out to Muggera Dam, which is about halfway. Have a bit of a break, a comfort stop, coffee stop if you want, and then move on from there from Muggera Dam to Queen Mary Falls. So we're going to go, who's done the Queen Mary Falls road? A few? Yeah, okay. Not a bad road, eh? Eh? Very narrow. Yeah, it's very narrow in spots, so pay attention. And, you've got to be alert. So on the way up there, we'll get to a place called Cars Lookout, C-A-R-R-S, Cars Lookout. You should be able to stop there, because at that point there you should be able to view southeast Queensland's highest mountain, about 1 kilometre high, 3,300 feet, and there's apparently some plane wreck from many years ago somewhere down there. You know, you can overlook down the valley and have a look. So bring your binoculars, see whether you can spot it. So then from there on to Queen Mary Falls, about 8 kilometres, that's all it is. And there at Queen Mary Falls, there's picnic area. We'll be having a picnic. So we'll be stopping. Bring your chairs, bring your picnic rugs, blankets, umbrellas if you need them, and a picnic lunch. So that's the intention. Drive out to there, relax, chinwag, have a chat. And if you don't want to bring your lunch, there is a cafe across the road that you can go over and buy a hamburger or whatever else they got there and bring it back. So that's the intention, that's the plan. Should be a nice run. The drive is sensational. I remember doing it over 20 years ago when I first joined the club, and it's left an indelible memory in my mind about it. Wow, how good was that? So I thought, that's quite attractive. So that's what you've got to look forward to. A challenging run. Pay attention. It shouldn't be too bad. It is very tight, very twisty in spots. Once you get to Queen Mary Falls, you're over the worst of it. And from there, you then continue down the mountain to Killarney, hang a right, and head off into Warwick, and then find your way home from there. Okay, that's how you get home. Otherwise, you've got to go back the way you came up. It's up to you. There you go. There's another attraction. So it would be worthwhile looking at them. So that'll be good. So that's the plan for February 27, Sunday fortnight. Then, not long after that, March 8, 9 and 10, we've arranged a convoy down to Canberra. Of course, on March 11 to 14, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the BMW Clubs Australia Nationals are being held in Canberra over that long weekend. It's a long weekend in Canberra. So there's 20 of us, 12 cars, 20 people registered to go down to Canberra. It's a 3-day trip. There's 1 or 2 spots left if you're keen as mustard to come along with us. We're going from Beaudesert down to Armidale via Casino. Then we're going from Armidale down to Bathurst via Werris Creek, Coolah, Mudgee, Ilford. That'll bring us over the Ilford Hill there. And then from Bathurst into Canberra via Cowra and Yass. Okay? All those names ring a bell, I hope. You all know about them. So that's the plan, 3 days down. Enjoy 4 days of socialising and then find your own way home. So if you haven't got sat-nav in the car or you haven't got Google Maps on your phone, yeah, that's right. All the best to you. And you'll probably take more than 1 day to get home, so depending how soon you want to get home. So that's on March 8, 9 and 10, so that's coming up next month. In fact, this time, in 4 weeks' time, at our next scheduled club meeting, most of us of the committee will be in Canberra at the Nationals, okay? So we won't be here. We'll put in an apology now. Good. There, and then that will then sort of get March out of the way, so we won't plan another drive in March because we'll be sick of driving by then. So we'll plan something for April. Late April, we're going to go to Nobby. Don't know whether you've heard of Nobby, but Nobby's out there near Clifton, Western Queensland there, or southwestern Queensland. So that'll be coming up in April. And I wanted to go there because I don't want to go there when it's hot as, January, February, December, January, February, March is pretty bloody hot out there, because I think the pub we go to, the Nobby pub, isn't air conditioned, so it can get rather challenging on a hot day. So that's the plan. So details will be released later on in March, and you'll be able to see them up on the website. And then after that, we'll just see how the year unfolds and go from there, right? So that's the drive report. Thank you.
Is it you next?
It's me.
Yep. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Russell Thomas, Social Director Extraordinaire.
Rightio. Okay, so events for 2022. The first event we've got booked in and confirmed is at the German Club, and that's at 416 Vulture Street, East Brisbane, and we're going for the famous $20 pork knuckle Sunday. Pass that around. So we're heading there, end of next month. The pork knuckles are usually $37, so it's a good special, $20. It's a kilo of pork, sauerkraut, potatoes and gravy. Scotty's into it already. So we're going to meet there from 11. The kitchen opens at 12 o'clock, so get in early because they've only got a limited number of pork knuckles. So as soon as the kitchen opens at 12, get up there, order, and then we'll have our pork knuckles, sit around, have a bit of a chat, try some German beers and enjoy the afternoon. So that should be a good one. So that's the German Club Brisbane at East Brisbane. Just keep an eye on the registration page. I'll send out a reminder to everyone once that link's up and running. So I'll do that over the weekend. All right. Now, we've also got some things planned for the year. We haven't got dates set at this stage, but we're looking around the month. So the month of June, we're hopefully going to go go-karting again at Kingston Park Raceway. So keep an eye for that one. In middle of June, we've got the RACQ Motor Fest. That's on the 19th of June. That one's obviously locked in. Then in July, we're hoping to do a Christmas in July event. And then later in July, we may be doing a Cars and Coffee or a Show and Shine potentially. We have to set some dates for that.
Charity goes late July.
Yeah, what day is charity?
23rd.
23rd, so the week before. So yeah, we'll have a look at these. These are just rough dates at the moment, months. And then on the 3rd of September, we're looking to go on the I Spy to go to Riverfire. So that's basically going on the I Spy vessel, the boat. It stops straight under the Story Bridge. We're looking at hiring at the VIP deck, so it's a maximum of 50 people. It does leave from the Brisbane Powerhouse. There's 2 dates up in the air at the moment. It hasn't been confirmed yet, Riverfire in September. It's either the 3rd of September or the 24th of September. So that's going to be pretty spectacular.
That's the vessel that we did the whale watching tour on.
Yeah.
So
Captain Carey's vessel. So
Yeah.
Yep. So that's in September. Then in November, we're looking at a movie afternoon. We're hoping that Ford versus Holden will be out by then and still being produced and filmed at the moment. So hopefully by November. And December, obviously, is our normal gala month, but we'll just have to see how things go with the Nationals being so close the following year. And they're also having a gala. So lots of stuff for the community to talk about, and we'll certainly keep you updated along the way. Any questions? All good? Christine's ready to go.
With
All
the
right.
Christmas in July,
Yep.
Russell levels up there at Bmw, you said, or something?
We were looking at
right?
maybe O'Reilly's or Eagle Heights Mountain Resort.
Oh yeah.
Eagle Heights Mountain Resort's very nice. It's right up on the peak there.
Yep.
It's got a nice restaurant function space. It also has accommodation as well.
Yeah.
So looking at something that potentially stay overnight as well.
So you want to do a drive there, sort of thing? as well?
Potentially a drive, and this is something that Greg's going to try to incorporate some of the social into drives this year as well. So we're going to go to a couple of wineries potentially, and yeah, they're going to be really nice. Picnics around lakes and show our cars off. And
Beautiful.
yeah, all right.
No person.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's it for me, Gary. Over to you, sponsorship and advertising.
Thank you. Well, I'm just going to interrupt the agenda for a moment. Another new member's just arrived, Michael. Michael has just come up from the Gold Coast. Michael, surname? Huxley, right, yes. Michael and I have spent a fair bit of time on the phone just recently. Michael rang me and asked for some advice. He came across this beautiful E31 850i with ridiculously low kilometres on it. What, 30?
Yeah, 30,000.
30,000 kilometres on this gorgeous red 850i.
850, 12 litre,
Yeah.
V12, 5 litre.
Yeah.
Tons. Very nice.
Yes, and Michael's asked for advice whether or not he should buy it, and I said, in a heartbeat. I said, you know, it was quite expensive, but it had lived a blessed life by a gentleman. I think he was a ex Holden dealership principal, who had obviously bought this car and had it as his baby. And I've never seen, Michael shared the car sales ad with me, and this gentleman had taken almost 100 photos of this car to list it in his ad. Close-ups of every exhaust pipe, door handle, rubber things, just the most amazing thing. But for a car of its age, in amazing condition, and fortunately, and that's what the club's about, we've got other owners of E31s, 850s and 840s that we're able to share with Michael. He was able to track these people down, share information, and decided to go ahead and buy it. So congratulations and welcome to the club. Thank you. Okay, and sorry Russell, thank you very much for your information. So, sponsorship advertising. I was on the phone to Russell Dean, our sponsorship marketing guy before, just about to get everything wrapped up. I will say that we've got a great member who hopefully will be watching tonight, Brendan Cook, from up in the Darling Downs. He lives at Cambodia and works out of Toowoomba. He has a couple of businesses associated with BMW. One's called Hyper BMW Power Sport, and he develops race engines and race cars. He also has a very close association with BMW Germany and building race engines here in Queensland for Australia. Very, very talented young man, very enthusiastic and knowledgeable young man. He's spent a lot of time in various other motor racing companies. I think 888 may have been one of them. Don't quote me, I think that was what he did say. But he's put his hand up to take on some sponsorship for the club. And hopefully that was the gentleman, Christine, that I was talking to you about, whom we may be able to come up with something for the ICC Challenge and help that organisation a little bit financially. So, Brendan, if you're watching, I'm sure you are, thank you. And I'll be sending you an invoice real soon. So, thank you. Leanne Timms, you be Leanne.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. Latest e-newsletter will soon be sent out for the final quarter of 2021. October, November and December. So those 3 months will be in the next e-newsletter. The club had an array of great events to finish off the year on a high. So yeah, we did have a great year last year. It was fantastic. Final work's just being done, so stay tuned, guys. Watch your email. It'll be sent out very, very soon. And enjoy it. There's a lot of work goes into it. So
for those who don't know, it's an electronic newsletter, and the beauty of that is that we can put lots of links to websites and videos and Google photo albums of events and things, so it's crammed packed full of information. Also, if you have any information, any stories or anything like that you would like to share with the club, please don't hesitate to contact us. It's a simple process of putting that information out there, and it'll be spread to all of the BMW community. So thank you very much. Dennis, would you like to tell us about what's happening in motorsport, please?
For those that don't know, the new people, those of you that have heard it, switch off for a bit. I look after all the motorsport, and then like Christine is looking after a couple of particular, or one of the particular areas of that, the Interclub. But basically the main thing that we do on a club basis is a sprint series that we have, that we run at Lakeside and Queensland Raceway, and also around at Morgan Park up at Warwick, that we share with the Porsche Club and a couple of others. We don't do racing, for those that know. What we do is sprints, so you come out to a track and you're driving against yourself. We have a very good mentor program. Unfortunately, with insurance situations, we're not allowed to do in-car instructing anymore, but all of our track days, which is next Friday, we're at Lakeside for the whole day. It's our own event, so if you come to our event, we have other cars apart from BMW there, but they are all regular guests of ours. So you haven't got clowns out there with $500 jalopies trying to bash you off the track or anything. Everybody's very, very friendly, respectful, and we have a really good association out there with everybody. What we will do in the morning first before the event is one of our experienced drivers, and it's usually Simon Harricks from RX Automotives, who is our motorsport sponsor for our sprint series, who's done tens of thousands of laps around Lakeside and many of the tracks around the country, and have done Bathursts, and drove the ex-Dick Johnson green rock car at Bathurst after he'd sold it, so a serious history of motor racing. He'll come out and do one of our track walks in the morning first, and that's open to anybody. If you want to come out and just experience it, if you're not doing the track, come out in the morning and do that with him, where they'll drive around the track in different areas, drive the full circuit of the track in some cars, but at each major point of the track, every corner and particularly. He'll get out of the cars, he'll talk you through the corners, show you where all your brake points are, where your apexes are, where you should be on the track, where you shouldn't be, also knowing Simon, and just give you a very, very good guide around the track, and then they'll finish it off with just a couple of slow laps around the track. He's also then available during the day, or anyone else that's got experience, that if you've got any questions, if you go out there and you're sort of struggling with a part of the track, you come and talk to them and they'll help you through it. Same thing with car preparation and everything else. Apart from being a brilliant old race driver, there's nobody knows older BMWs in particular better than he does, and has been building race cars and race engines for most of his life. So if you want knowledge about or information about going a bit further, performance things to your car, they can help you with that as well. As Sid will well contest to his E28 M5 that's getting some serious love at the moment and bringing it back to life. They're working on that. So we're out at Lakeside, as I said, on Friday. That's a whole day, that's our event. Do come out. You don't have to be wanting to drive around the track, but come out if you're interested, have a look and see, talk to everybody, friendly bunch of people. At lunchtime we run passenger rides, so they're open to anyone that's a member. Bring your family, bring your boss, whatever. You can't actually drive it, but we can take you for a passenger ride. There's a few rules. You do need the same clothing that you'd need if you're driving, which is a helmet and neck to wrist to ankle clothing. There's some paperwork to do, of course, like there is in everything in life, but you'll get a few laps around Lakeside at what we call warm laps, probably 7/10. We can't do much more than that, obviously, with safety reasons. But it's a great way to experience Lakeside in particular because it's such a wonderful little track. It's the best medium-length track in the country. And everybody who drives it will attest that how great it is to drive. So come out on Friday, spend the day, spend half an hour. The passenger rides are just after lunch, or just halfway through lunch. So please be there if you're going to do that. Be there by, say, 11:30, 12, and come and see us and tell me that you do want a passenger ride so we can allocate some time. And make sure you get your paperwork done first, because we don't wait for everybody, we've just got to get them rolling. So come out and experience that. On that too, and this is for everybody out on Facebook, I've just done a little deal with Lakeside. For quite many years ago, we used to provide our own flaggies at Lakeside. That rule changed some time ago for whatever reason. We were offered a discount this time if we went back to providing our own flaggies. So I had 2 or 3 regular flaggies that did it all the time, and it's a great way to be there at the action. You don't need any prior knowledge. They'll give you the training you need for the day. So I'm looking for 4 people. We can double up if you want, but a minimum of 4 to do a half day. So in a morning session and an afternoon session, 2 at the 2 main points. One up at the top of the hill at Eastern Loop, and the other one at the top of the hill at Carousel. And it's a good safe spot. You're not standing at the track, but it's a great way to see action close at hand. We will give you we won't actually give you lunch, but we'll give you some money towards lunch. And you will get priority for passenger rides at lunchtime as well as a volunteer to help us out. And of course, without flaggies, we can't operate. So they're the people that we rely on. So if anybody wants to help us out on Friday, please get in touch with me. Motorsport at bmwcq.com.au. My phone number's around everywhere on the thing. Give me a call. Please don't messenger me, but SMS or email. So hopefully we'll see a bunch of people at the track. At the moment, we're just about break even on the entries, which means we're a little bit lower than we've been in the last 3 events last year, but we're there. The event's definitely happening. And if you do want to come out, you will get at least 60 laps in for the day for your $180. Best motorsport value in the country. Okay. So moving on from that, the only other thing we've got happening is I've got a skid pan session booked on Sile Road Russell the same day on the 27th of March. The last skid pan session that we had a couple of weeks ago, There was 10 spaces left on the website when I advertised it. We can only take 14, and those 10 spaces sold in 4 hours exactly. It was 9:30, quarter to 10 I sent the notice out, and at 1:45 the event was full. And in so saying, we had 14 spaces available, but I actually sold 24 spaces for a couple of cancelled spaces on that event, and 2 other events that were one up that afternoon after hours and another one the week before that one of our other members ran. They had ended up with some spaces and we sold spaces for them. So we sold 24 spaces for skid pan, that's normally 14, all in the space of about 3 days. So I've booked another one for the 27th of March on a Sunday afternoon. It's on the website, but it's not open for booking yet. I'll wait until March, once we get a couple of other things out of the way, and then we'll put it up for booking. So keep an eye out on the website or for notices, because it will go fast. I might as well add it now. Most people know I bought a 6 Series last year, so I thought it must be about time that we had a 6 Series drive, Greg. And I mentioned to you a little while ago of a venue that I think will work very well for a 6 Series run. When we went to Beachmere, up at Caboolture Airport, there's an aircraft museum up there called TAVAS, T-A-V-A-S, the Australian Vintage Aircraft Society. They have 12 or 14 pre-1930 not all flying, but many of them flying aircraft up there. They've offered us a deal if we want to go up there for a tour. Normally $29, they've offered us a deal for $20, and I think we might even be able to chip in a bit to subsidise that a bit for 30 people. So I'm thinking we might do that as a 6 Series drive. Others are welcome to join us, and then we might take a run somewhere, maybe Landsborough or somewhere afterwards for a drive. We'll talk to Greg about that, but that's just a sweetener. That's it. Thanks, Gordon.
I'd just like to call Christine Murphy up. Christine is new to the club this year and has had a lot of experience with motorsport in the Mini Club as president, and is now involved with the ICC, the Interclub Challenge, and has been doing a lot of work with that, and also doing some driver training and days up at Morgan Park. So tell us what you've been doing. Thank you.
Yes, so hi, Christy. So the first event that I've held, which was very exciting, was at Morgan Park with SDT, who do our skid pan days, so that's safe driver training. And that was, we had a maximum of 24 cars you can have on the day, and we had 22, around about 12 drivers, 10 drivers from our club, but we also had the Z Car Club there as well, and we had some minis, and then Joel has his regular drivers that come along as well. So it was a really great mix of different driver skills, from brand new first time on the track to very experienced and just honing their skills a little bit. So it was a really great day. Started at 7:30. Yeah, got there nice and early, and then we have our driver's briefing, and then we have split it into 2 sessions, so there's heaps and heaps of track time, and they have 3 instructors there that you can either have instructors with you or just keep going out on your own and doing your own thing. It was a bit of a special day for Joel, the owner of SDT. He had his father's Nissan GTR from 29 years ago. His father was one of the original drivers. There were 3 drivers, and the 3 gentlemen were there, and they raced at Bathurst. So they had it out there, and they did a special photo shoot. They had hot laps, so people got to go around in it. So that was a nice little family moment for Joel, and something a bit different for everyone to see. We also had 2 representatives from Motorsport Australia attending, so they wanted to come and meet all the different clubs that were there, chat with Joel, and then they're really looking at building on the grassroots motorsport, so getting down and meeting with the clubs and meeting with the drivers and hearing everyone's feedback. So that was really great for all networking. Most of us stayed at the Coachman's Inn, which was lovely. We had the dinner on Tuesday night there, which was delicious. Brilliant steak, everyone loved it. And then we were going to do the drive home up at the Queen Mary Falls on the way home, but people left a little bit earlier, and I said, oh well, wait for Greg's drive. So that was that. And Joel goes out there, it's around about 4 times a year, so roughly every 3 months. The next one is on the 24th of May. So there was a lot of interest for this event, so we'll most likely get another team together to go out there. So it's not racing, nothing's timed, it's all very much at your own pace. Your cars are split up as to speed and also driver competency, so it's fantastic. And Greg and Pam Smith, it was Pam's first time on the track, and she just had a ball. She loved it. She was saying she loves all the track time, and she loved that it was a real relaxed, friendly environment. So we'll see Pam. Maybe Pam's out there. We'll see you again, Pam. So she had a great time. There was another first-time driver, Rebecca, who was in a Mini, and then there's Vivian, who's a very experienced driver who's out with Joel a lot. So it was really great to have go girls there. And so the other events that I'm looking after is the ICC, which Gary mentioned. So that's the Interclub Challenge. So this is a volunteer group that's everyone who's all clubs who are members of Motorsport Australia can nominate to be part of this ICC. So it's around about 13 or 14 clubs this year. And what they do, you don't have to put an event forward, but the majority of the clubs do. And it's a variety. So BMW, Dennis has been doing the regularity each year. So what happens is that's already in our calendar, and then it just gets opened up to the ICC members. So anyone who's a member of those clubs who are in the ICC can come along and participate on that day. So there's everything from the MG Car Club do the Mount Cotton Hill Climb. So we've got the regularity. Porsche do the sprint out at Morgan Park. I think it's the MR2, yes, I'll just double refer to my little notes here. The navigation run, the MR2 club. So that's really family friendly, and it's something, it's not racing or anything, it's on the streets, and it's like a little scavenger hunt. So they give you all the little directions, and you've got to pick things out on the way, and then there's winners at the end of the day on time and things like that. So all of this is building towards individual points and also club points. So you can compete in one event, or if you really want to win a trophy or something, you do as many events as you like. So it's a big variety, and there's something in it for everybody. So it can be like you can get out and be a little bit competitive in the sprints and the regularity and working as teams, or you can just pick the family fun events. So more will be going out about that, and if anyone is interested in hearing more about how they participate, just get in touch with myself, and I'm the ICC at bmwcq.com.au email. Yeah, so that's that.
Christine is also on the board, on the executive of Motorsport Australia, is it? Yes. So she's a representative of that. So she gives feedback to Motorsport Australia about what the clubs are doing, and it's great to see that we've got representation there and access to that information. So thank you, Christine. Great work. Merchandising, as I mentioned before, the grill badge is now available with the mount. So thanks again, Dennis. All the other paraphernalia, jump on the club web store and have a look there. Kerry Thomas, I thought that was the trailer rego. I hadn't opened that. So that's not the trailer rego.
I think that's April.
Yeah. So that is that association document that I gave you. Delegates, Canberra Nationals is happening, and just for everyone's information, we're pre-planning next year because the Nationals are coming to Queensland, and so the two clubs in Queensland, Club Gold Coast and Club Queensland, will be hosting the Nationals. It'll be based on the Gold Coast, Sandra and Roger, Club Gold Coast, have already put a lot of work into some pre-planning for that. What we will be doing, hopefully, is announcing that at the gala dinner in Canberra. And I think the tradition is they pass over the banner at that meal to the next incumbent club or clubs. So that should be fun. Say again? Have they put any dates?
It's in March.
Yeah, I think it's March 17, I think it is. Yeah, it's the weekend of the 17th. The next meeting will be at Westside BMW. As we mentioned before, a lot of the committee will be away and down there, so I think Dennis will be looking after that for us. I might try and do a quick little FaceTime or just a phone call from Canberra into that meeting, just for a bit of fun. Okay, that's about it. Is there any other business that anyone would like to discuss, or any points anyone would like to bring up before we move on? No? Okay. What I will do is, just before we ask our guest to come up and speak, I don't know if any of you have seen, but there is an amazing new television commercial that's just been produced for the Super Bowl in America. It's produced for BMW, for the new electric car, the iX. The commercial stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Selma Hayek as Zeus. And apparently the story goes, to give you the background, is Zeus apparently is retired. So he retires to Palm Springs.
My fellow gods, the dark skies have spoken.
It is time for Zeus and I to retire.
But where will you go?
Zeus! Sorry, Zeus! I need a charge in the... Oh! Thanks!
Sweetie, it's not rocket science. I'm heading out. Don't forget to take Peggy for a walk. Mwah.
Yo, Zeus! A little juice! That's it. I'm done with this place.
We'll see about that. Everything okay out there, baby?
Hey! Yeah. Little Peggy, a little walk, huh?
I figure you could use a little pick-me-up.
All electric?
All electric.
The BMW iX. Electricity in its ultimate form.
Electric Avenue. And we take it higher.
BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine.
How amazing is that? You know, it tells the story about electric cars, electric everything. Anyway, so that actually leads me on to introducing our guest for this evening. A wonderful gentleman that I met at a launch for the electric cars just recently, Associate Professor Rafael Gomez, who works at QUT. And is involved with BMW and development of BMW here in Queensland at QUT.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for having me, Gary. It was wonderful to meet you that time at the launch of the electric vehicles. And yeah, I'm very excited to be talking a little bit about what I do with BMW Group. So I run the BMW Group and QUT Design Academy here at QUT. It's something that I've been something that I wanted to do all of my life was work with BMW. And when I graduated from design many years ago now, I traveled to Munich and I realized that I could actually, instead of working over there at BMW, I could actually work in academia, still work with BMW and do a whole host of other things as well. And so I chased that dream. This is, as I said, a little bit of a dream of mine. I don't remember when I fell in love with BMW, but kind of from as long as I can remember, I've always loved the brand, I've always loved the cars. And now we work directly with them. We do R&D work and special projects and a whole heap of other things, which I'll talk a little bit about. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands where QUT stands, pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge the important role Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people continue to play within the QUT community and the community here. So I'm going to go through a little bit of an introduction on the Academy itself, some background information to give you. If you've got questions beyond that as well, I'm happy to answer them. A little bit about the Academy itself, the programs that we run, facilities and technologies, and the kind of future vision that we've got for the Academy. So the reason why we've been able to do what we've done with BMW Munich, BMW Group Global, is I met, some of you may know, either you either like or hate Chris Bangle. But I met Chris Bangle in 2010. We started talking, and that was my kind of little in with BMW a long time ago. Things bubbled and things kept going a little bit, and I was a bit of a junior academic at the time. Didn't really have the kind of clout to start a collaboration properly, but others at QUT did. And it wasn't until about 2016 when we sent our first intern from design over to Munich, where things really kicked off. And really it was around the vision of the future. 2016 or 17, they celebrated their 100-year anniversary, and they started to develop basically, instead of working in the old kind of siloed divisions in a big organization, a corporate like BMW, they started to develop these smaller teams that were doing special projects across divisions. So that's where a lot of our designers went in and really started to make a really big difference for BMW, and what I've seen as the success that has happened as a result. So the Vision 100 vehicle you might know of, it was really taking advantage of this opportunity where BMW was looking to the future and changing as a corporate company. So the next 100 years vision, I can talk a little bit about that, but suffice to say, that's Dylan Shepherd, our first intern. I went and visited him at the time. He showed me around, and I saw the opportunity here. It was incredible, just what he was doing, for someone, he was, I think, 20 at that time. He's now 25 and leading design teams and doing amazing stuff over there. At his age, what he was doing was incredible, changing the face of manufacturing and doing all sorts of projects with Rolls-Royce, with robotics divisions within BMW, a whole heap of other things, using virtual reality, augmented reality, in ways that BMW was just going, this is amazing, this is great, let's leverage this. I started to now work a little bit more forcefully towards establishing something with them, rather than just an internship program, which was important. And now in 2020, we established the Academy, and I'll tell you a little bit about the story as well as kind of what happened in the meantime. So we work across the BMW Group. We've worked with BMW AG, which is the car part of BMW, Mini, we've done projects with them, Rolls-Royce, as I mentioned, and Idealworks. Some of you may know or have heard of Idealworks. It's the newest subsidiary. The BMW, it's a fully owned business, and they do robots for manufacturing and logistics in automotive space. I'm not going to go through all of this. These are some of the major milestones that we've had with the partnership. As I said, 2015 was our formal collaboration with BMW Group. 2016 was our first intern. I'll skip to 2020 when we established the Academy. Our interns were central to the launch of Idealworks, that new company that I mentioned, and also the BMW Group Nvidia partnership. You may or may not have heard of that as well. I'll talk a little bit about that. That's one of the special projects we've been involved in. It's a massive partnership around the future of manufacturing. Digital twins, Industry 4.0, a whole heap of other things that we do with them. Our academy has grown as well, and at the moment the investment from BMW is worth over 2 million. That's cash and in-kind contribution, so it's a significant partnership that they're investing in. That was the launch in 2020. So there's myself on the left, there's my head of school next to me, Lisa, then the dean of the faculty at the time, she's now left. The next one after that is Jimmy Nassif, he's a BMW, a colleague of mine. Then Dylan Shepherd, as I mentioned, he now works there. And Scott Shepherd, who's the Deputy Vice Chancellor of QUT Business Development. To tell you where the Academy is at now, there's myself, we've got 3 other design associates that work with me, a research associate, a technical associate who's just joined this year, and in the middle of this year we'll also have 2 more PhDs working in the Academy as well. And the rest of the Academy is really the team over in Germany. Jimmy and Dylan. He's still working with BMW, but he's kind of seconded to Idealworks as the Chief Technology Officer for 2 or 3 years. Dylan has officially left BMW and working for Idealworks full-time, ongoing, but that's the team that we work with quite closely. It's growing, there's lots of other team members that we have over at BMW, but they're the key ones. Just to give you the kind of the spiel, the technical kind of background on the Academy. So the Academy is a design hub for advanced learning, cutting-edge research and R&D projects focused on the application of emerging tech, including virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, robotics, among others, big data, whole mixed reality, a whole heap of other things that we're exploring with them. And as I said, it's really around designers going to a corporate and doing things like taking that emerging technology and saying, what can we do with it to improve what BMW does across a whole heap of different things. There's 3 pillars that we work around at the Academy. We might extend that to a 4th pillar. I'll talk a little bit about that near the end. It's internships, research, and special projects. Okay, and they all work off each other. They're not individual. We have internship program, research, masters and PhDs, and special projects, which are live projects with BMW. With the internships, it's around fostering design excellence. So it's what we do at a university, is educate future designers. That's what the internships are all about. So we have, in the last 3 semesters, so a year and a half, essentially, since the middle of 2020, we've had 12 interns going through the Academy, and we upskill them so that they're better prepared if they ever get a chance to go to BMW once borders open up. And we've already got 1 student over there now who's about to start a new internship, so that's really exciting to get that started again. So we teach them in the Academy here at QUT to upskill them on all sorts of things. The BMW Group Internships we also run. So these are paid placements working at BMW Group over in Munich. So students go and they work there from between 9 to 12 months. And they're employed as BMW employees for that period. So it's pretty rare for students, undergrads, to get to go and work at a company like this. This is to give you a sense of kind of the impact that these students have had. You may know the official-looking gentleman on the left there. That's Oliver Sipsky. He's the CEO of BMW. There's people who work at BMW all of their careers there in Munich at HQ who never get to meet Oliver. And here we have Dylan and Daniel Jacob, who were their undergrad interns presenting to Oliver and the head of production at the time. A massive project for BMW, and we were having interns embedded in that project, presenting, actually leading that work. There's Dylan and Jacob again in Goodwood, Rolls-Royce factory with about, $20 million worth of cars at the front or something like that. They were very impressed, very happy to be there. Projects with Google that they started off interns working with Google Glass and doing things like that to do checking for production management, quality management in the production process. Project that our students were involved in for the launch of the Mexican plant 3 or 4 years ago. There's our interns, Will, Dylan, and Daniel, again, in the factory doing some stuff with robots. There's one of our group of interns that we're going. This was the 2018 intern group, and a couple of students from the 2019 internship group over in Munich as well. The research arm, this is around exploring new knowledge horizons, so identifying new opportunities of research for the team, including QUT and BMW. So we're trying to make obviously the best of both worlds. Just to give you a sense of the projects that we're working on, human-machine interface, so the ways that we might interact with vehicles in the future that are autonomous or that are driven or developed using artificial intelligence, and we interact with an AI system. What does that mean for things like four-wheel drives as well as supercars and other things? How does that change depending on the vehicle type? We're working on advanced interaction interfaces with Motorrad, BMW Motorrad. That's really exciting because Motorrad's a bit of a unique beast within BMW. It's a very small team, but they do amazing work. So it's really, really cool to be working with them. Human-robot interaction stuff within, as I mentioned, logistics and manufacturing. Design expertise, so understanding how is it that our designers are going there and making such big changes, and how is that happening? We want to learn more about that. And the other area is infotainment. So we're doing research with lots of different areas across BMW Group in infotainment kind of stuff. The last is special projects, as I mentioned. This is about advancing cutting-edge tech, and these are like commercially sensitive projects that BMW are working with us live, so stuff that's happening right now. And there's a couple that I can mention because they're out in the public sphere. One of them is Idealworks, as I said. This is a robot that our students worked on for many, many years within BMW, and then BMW decided the best thing to do from a business perspective is to kind of develop a new business venture called Idealworks that they will own and then they might sell later on. So this is a robot, IW Hub, Idealworks Hub it's called. These are some of the renders of the advanced visualizations that our students were doing. That's the Nvidia brains behind the Idealworks, the IW Hub. That's an i3 battery that's used, so they use a lot of the vehicle parts in the robots, the LiDAR from the 7 Series, the batteries from the i3, a whole heap of other things. The second project, as I mentioned, is the Bmw Group Nvidia, which was launched at the Nvidia conference. So Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of Nvidia, and this was the head of production, the new head of production, Milan Nedeljkovic. And this is around basically digital twin of the factory. So I won't get into details, it gets very technical around the Omniverse platform that Nvidia have, where basically they can start to plan production of a massive factory. They can do training there, they can train the robots, they can train people, they can do production like foresight, so understand where can we put things in the production line and stuff, all virtually, before anything's ever put on the ground. And it's hyper-realistic, it's incredible what Nvidia are doing with BMW. If you Google digital twins, you'll understand, you can read up a little bit about kind of the work that it's doing. I wish I could show you a whole heap of other stuff that we're doing right now. This is to give you a sense of, these are people working in a factory line. None of this is real. This is all virtual. And robots go in there, they just plug the brains into the robots and they train them with people that are walking around as if they're real people, and they trip over and they do all this other stuff as if it's real. And the robots think it's real, and that's how they learn before they go out into the real world. Okay, facilities and tech, I'll skip over some of this just to tell you that our footprint is growing at QUT. We had a little small office, which you'll see in a second. This is a little office that we've got at the moment. This is it. So we have all of the team members in here, but we're now growing to a space that's twice the size in Kelvin Grove campus. We're about to announce something really, really exciting that's going to go in this space here, which is called the Glass House. You can imagine what it might be. So BMW sent us a new research resource, which is really exciting. So you'll hear about that if you check out our website later on. And the last thing I'll say is we're looking for new opportunities with BMW Group. So now that borders are opening, I'm off to Germany this year, probably twice. We've got the BMW team coming over for the launch of the new resource that they've sent us on March. And we keep going, and we're working quite closely with Mini and Motorrad. They're our next two big kind of areas that we're seeing growth in, which is really exciting. So it's a growing partnership. And last thing I'll mention is to stay in contact with us. We've got an Instagram page, but just Google BMW Group QUT. Those 3 words, you'll see the Academy website that'll come up, and we've got all our links to Instagram and things like this special edition of our photo book, which we'll run every year. We'll run a photo book from all the work that we're doing. It's a very nice book. We can only print a few because they're really expensive, but you can download a digital copy, see all of the stuff that we're doing that's in a really nice kind of photo area. So thank you very much. Sorry,
Take questions?
Yes, of course, yeah, happy for...
Anyone got anything they would like to ask?
Yes.
Mate, is there any, your workmate students or whatever you call them, are they physically designing the car, or are they mainly into tech?
Mainly into tech at the moment. We have a couple of projects where we are in the midst of a larger project that's going on for about 4 years at BMW. They're trying to, if anyone knows around production, the production cycles used to go in 7-year cycles. The digital team are trying to get this down to 3 years. Production is not going to go that fast, but digital teams are doing, rather than 7-year cycles to follow their production, they're looking to do 3. So we're working with a team that will launch something soon around interior design and things like that. So that is design kind of work that I more traditionally understand and things like that, but a lot of the other work is around tech and implementing it for logistics, manufacturing, robotics and other areas like that. Yeah.
How did this whole thing start? What was the genesis of the idea? Who asked the first question to whom? And
it all started at a congress, a design congress that I was at in Singapore, and the only reason I went because my supervisor said, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "I'm not too keen. I was busy doing a master's." And I looked it up, and Chris Bangle was going, and I'm like, I want to talk to Chris Bangle. I want to go there. And literally, that's where it started. I kid you not. That is literally it. I approached him at the Congress. We exchanged emails, and he got back to me. I was surprised and shocked, to be honest. I was like, yeah, I didn't expect that. As I said, the real grunt work didn't start until about 2015, 2016. I went to Germany out of my own pocket for about 4 years, and just because I wanted to go work in BMW, and then I realised actually there's probably a better way. I love Brisbane. I didn't want to leave, and I found a way to make it work after that. Yeah, lots of. I can talk about all the kind of nuances. I've written a book as an academic. That's what I do. I write. I've written a book chapter about like kind of the tactics and the strategies that I have developed to make these kinds of relationships. But really, it was about getting in front of people, talking to them, building that relationship. That's fundamentally that's what it was.
And how generally was the response from Germany for you to be in Australia doing what you do?
Shock generally in terms of like where we've come to and thinking about the universities that they have and things like that. And one of the things I've realised is Germany, the Germans are very proud of their engineering prowess and their background, and they don't like sourcing engineers from anywhere else other than Germany, but design is not as competitive. So that was an advantage to me. And I started to, basically, we went for many, many years from about 2010 to 2015, 2016, talking to someone up very high at BMW, thinking that's how we'll get in. It wasn't. They were way too high. And he would come every year and he'd say, yes, well, let's do this and whatever. Then we wouldn't hear from him for another year until he came, and the same thing over and over again. And it wasn't until I met Jimmy, who was in middle management, where things really started to take off. So Jimmy was at my level at BMW, and he's actually executing. He's actually doing stuff. And that's when it really kicked off. So we did need the upper management support, but also someone who could, you could email and he'd get back to you within a week to do something. So that was really important for us.
What's the future look like for you guys? Obviously you're expanding, you're getting more support. Does the future look bright for you?
It does. Surprisingly, the support has grown substantially over COVID, which I was expecting the complete opposite. There's various divisions. I didn't know this about corporates like BMW, but there's various divisions, and some divisions do poorly over this period. Other divisions have done really well. And I don't know how they keep a track of that, and because, BMW as a corporate publishes, financial, yearly records and stuff, but different divisions have different kinds of budgets, and the division we've been working with has been doing really well, and so we've got continued support from them. We haven't worked with anything where we've worked with the computer chipsets and stuff in the vehicle, if that's what you're talking about, like electrical, mechanical components.
I mean, you're designing a program to achieve something, like maybe a human-machine interaction or something like that, and you write the program for it,
yep.
But you actually have to build the hardware. And do you source that hardware from regular places, or do you get special hardware?
No, that stuff gets done at BMW. We do a lot of the coding that might go into the hardware, and then the front end design. Yeah. So the hardware, like what goes into the car to do the processing, is taken care of at BMW.
And are you worried about hacking?
Yes. Yeah. It's a serious concern. Yep. We work with the IT teams in engineering around, and we're actually doing a partnership. I was just in Adelaide for the first time last weekend, talking to Deakin University. They have a cybersecurity team they're really big, and yeah, we're talking to them about that kind of stuff.
Now, the really important question: have you got any dealings with the design team that work on the grills?
I was waiting for that. No, we don't. Look,
that's a cop out.
Do you think you'd say yes if
yeah,
you
even if you did, you'd say no.
We this year, I'm hoping to have a meeting with Adrian van Hooijdonk, who's the head of design at BMW, and I will cheekily ask him about it.
I think we'll wrap it up. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Rafael.
Thank you very much, and really appreciate you sharing. And it's amazing to find out what happens here in Australia for BMW. Okay, that's it. If anyone else has got anything. We normally go down to Grilled at the Emporium to grab something to eat. If anyone would like to join us, more than welcome. So stay safe. Next month we won't be here, we'll be on a road trip. Dennis will look after you. I'm sure you'll have something to say, something to chat about.
Good.
Thank you for coming.
I'll need some lessons on how we're going to set up the Facebook.